Your GI just spiked, the dashboard lit up again. You ran energy audits, upgraded equipment, installed solar panels, but the number, still off. Maybe the real issue isn't on the dashboard at all. Because emissions are not just a measurement, they're a message, a symptom of a deeper systemic cause. In this video, we go below the surface to find the causes behind the carbon. Because until you fix the system, you'll keep firefighting the symptoms. Let's take a real example. At a rice mill in Raipur, the team invested in new blowers to reduce thermal energy consumption. But the GEI didn't improve. Why? It turns out the insulation on the steam lines was cracked. And no one logged it because maintenance checks were manual and irregular. When we talk about emissions, the real insight often lies not in what's visible, but in what's causing it behind the scenes. Let's break down a real-world example using the Fishbone diagram to trace the root causes of high emissions in a drying process at an agri-processing unit. First up, manpower. At an FPO in Nagpur, shift workers were consistently over-drying paddy. Why? Because they lacked proper training on drying cycle timing, especially across shifts. Next, method. The standard operating procedures, in short SOPs, hadn't been updated after a machine upgrade. So operators followed old instructions on new tech. That mismatch alone can increase energy use by 10 to 15%. Now let's talk about the machine. The infrared dryers weren't recalibrated after the monsoon. Humidity had changed, but the sensors didn't adjust. That led to longer drying cycles, burning more energy than needed. Fourth is material. The incoming paddy batches had higher moisture content than usual. But no one adjusted the drying settings. More moisture meant more drying time, again, more emissions. And here's where it gets tricky. Measurement. There was no energy sub-metering for the dryers, only monthly total readings. So operators couldn't track daily spikes or spot waste until it was too late. Finally, Mother Nature. High ambient humidity post-monsoon increased the energy load unexpectedly, but the system kept running without adaptive planning, as if nothing had changed. So what looked like one emission spike was actually 6 invisible causes acting together. This is why root cause thinking matters, because solving one problem rarely solves the problem. High emissions don't always mean high failure. Sometimes they mean hidden friction. Fix the friction and emissions come down. Efficiency goes up. That's the real power of root cause logic. Download free tools, Fishbone analysis template, 5 whys worksheet, and root cause to action mapping tool. Link in the first comment. So, what's the most surprising cause of emissions you've seen in your plant or process? Drop it in the comments. Let's unpack it together. Because GEI isn't just a carbon number, it's a story. You just have to follow the trail back to where it began.